Okay, so the group one, go ahead, explain the group members and what you plan to present.
Okay, hi, I'm part of group one with Adam and William, so y'all can feel free to add anything, but we just really want to talk about like the history of Singapore, and like kind of to narrow it down, we were talking more about like how like the history of Singapore has shaped like the unique like cultural landscape of what it is today. So we're going to focus a little bit on that. Yeah, I don't know if y'all had anything you wanted to add.
Excellent. So that covers a lot of aspects of the cultural history and political history, as well as cultural history, where the demographics of Singapore, and it's a very important and good thing to learn about, and how they coexist. That it's all you can bring in some aspects of that. And then among yourself, then you divide subtopics and you focus on this, or you want to kind of an overlap with each other is fine. Okay, cool. The group two.
So group two is myself, Taylor, Clarice, and Judith, and we wanted to talk about the diversity in Singapore, particularly represented in its religion and language, but we looked a little online and saw that it's diversity is enforced in other aspects as well. So that's what we'd like to talk about.
Excellent. And the group three.
Group three would like to talk about the education system, how it's structured. So the primary, secondary, and post-secondary school, the cost of education, and the criticisms and also the benefits of the Singapore education system.
Cool. Very good topic. I have a book, I can pass it on to you. I might have mentioned this, called Beyond Tiger Mom. Have you had that book? Yeah,
I've heard of it.
Okay, I have a hard copy. When we meet next time, I'll just send me a quick email day before or something. I'll bring that to Welch when we meet. Okay.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, it's a good book written by a person from the US, have been educated in India, US, and Singapore. She's a teacher now in international school. So it's her perspective. It's a good insight. But I want your group's perspective also. Very good. And the group four, please.
We can present on the healthcare system in Singapore, specifically like its structure and how it compares to the US and kind of the pros and cons of that.
Very good. Very good. And I had one student who did an honors thesis on this topic. I may be able to find out and give a reference. So in UT Library, it's one of those natural science honors, or plan to honors actually thesis. I'll try to remember the student's name and share with you, but that's a good topic. Okay, excellent. And moving on to group five.
So group five is me, Grace, and Hannah.
Okay.
And we were interested in presenting on different sorts of social movements and the political climate in Singapore, sort of like how here, like people are really passionate about like the Black Lives Matter movement and gun violence, things like that. So sort of just learning what people are passionate about and how they protest in Singapore.
I think that's a good place to bring the privacy policy and how much freedom they have to share their views about the world and about the government. And I'm sure you will get plenty of that. Okay. The first prime minister and the founding prime minister of Singapore is Lee Kuan Yew. And if you search for Lee Kuan Yew interview with Terry Gross, it's a NPR interview he did maybe 10, 15 years ago before he passed away. Very good interview to listen to. Search online, it's on YouTube. Okay, anything you can't find, let me know. That gives you, what his perspective, vision, and how he made it happen, and so on. That now, then you bring it down to the modern generation, where they are, what's happening, and you link it. Okay, and this interview, any of you can listen, not just for this group. Okay, Excellent. And the group 6, please.
Yeah, so I'm in
Yeah.
group 6 with Valeria and Mirabel, and we were interested in like how foreign influence has kind of shaped Singapore's culture, and then comparing and contrasting Singapore's culture with the nearby areas.
Excellent. Foreign culture, and then you can talk about Southeast Asian culture and how it influenced, starting with the British colonization of Singapore, and you can expand it, up to modern day, how Western culture overlap with this, and then the Asian culture overlap, which is a very good kind of a melting pot. There may be some aspect of the group 1 presenting cultural history of Singapore. So you may want to kind of have some dialogue or discussion so that both of you are not talking about the same thing. Yeah, and so I think there is a lot to learn about. I'm sure there's plenty of information to talk about in 2 separate groups. Okay. Everyone okay with this so far? Great. Yeah, and part of this, I'm going back to your list again, is you wanted to also talk about, I'm going through your list, history of food. Put that into a cultural history or, nature-related sightseeing. And if any of you want to talk about the healthcare system as to how they have, it's a system approach they have. The whole country they have designed with exercise park and nature park and things like that. So try to bring in as an entire, as a holistic approach that you can bring in the natural aspect. And I think you have the cuisine it could go into the cultural history and foreign influence in both of them. I think you will cover in each of these things to do in Singapore. Is some of you interested in the hawker culture? Keep these in mind. And you're talking about religion and language. Then you think about, okay, here are the Buddhist temples or Hindu temples or these churches or synagogues to visit. So that is where, this is where it's located, bring in the map. And so it kind of gives you an idea, oh, I want to see that place, or this was built 500 years ago or 50 years ago. You give that perspective and give that history, okay? Good, I think it's a good list of topics to cover. And how about timing? Anyone have any preference to go next week or week after, or you want to email me later? I'll let your groups choose and just send me an email. We are to accommodate in all the different 6 slots, and the presentation by Writing Center, the presentation by Jean Uy, they are the one that and the librarian is fixed, 3 of them. I have flexibility. So if anyone want to do on the spring break, Monday, the Wednesday after spring break, I can push my presentation to next week. So don't feel rushed to do it in next week. I have flexibility. That's why I throw in my name somewhere so I can move around. Okay. So talk to your group members, and then what I will do is I will open up the communication channel in Canvas. And do you all have a group meet thing going? Why don't you share there? Our group like to do here, this date, that date. Then once you all consolidated, one of you can email me that. And you look at the syllabus, okay? So that way, we are good. And we don't have to go in the order of group 1 through 6. You can pick your group convenience date. And I want all the members to be present because 1 member or 2 members are missing for other personal reasons. So include them and then come up with the dates. So that sounds good? Excellent. I'm going to stop the recording now.